we are going to be working on the crochet bullion stitch. I am one who needs to have an extra apparatus to make this work. And so this is how I do it. I know there's other people who do different things. So I'm just using a rolled up piece of cardboard here like this. And so I'm looping around 8 times. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like that. Okay, and so now I'm going to wrap the yarn over like this, and then I'm going to pull the yarn through this loop and then turn it this direction and pull it through. Oh no, are we going to, yeah, we're going to get it through here. Now what I'm going to do is secure up here. I don't want to pull it too tight. Then I can go on ahead and pull this out just like that. And so we've completed our stitch there. It looks pretty good. And so they do kind of expand out and roll out, and they're supposed to, but this is like one of the best ones I've ever made in my life. I used to use straws, and I don't know why I didn't think of the cardboard sooner. I mean, I don't know, my brain, well, I do kind of in a way. I had a lot of other things going on at the time. So this cardboard is, I'm going to guesstimate about 2 inches long or so. And so I'm going to put it back in here like this, and we're going to repeat. I have 2 more to do, and then I'm going to show how to complete the flower. So the flower, what I made was 10 single crochet in the center. Then I did 20 double crochet, increasing. And now I'm making the bullion stitches, and I should have a total, I think I have 18 right now. Let's count and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 2 more to make. I have 2 more bullion stitches to make. So I'm going to use my little apparatus here. Just completely simple. Very, very simple to use. And so I'm going to put it up here about halfway. I have it through my first loop, and I want it like that on purpose because it's easier to pull it out. Why, hello. Let me go over here to the comments, and I hope I muted myself here, so I don't know why our screen thingy. Okay, hello. Red 819, hello. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And push them this direction. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now I want to put my hook through here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, loop through 1, and then just pull it all the way up like that, and then yarn over and pull through just like that. Now I'm going to pull this out. So that should be 19 stitches. I believe I have 1 more to do. Let me chain 1 like this. Goodness. Chain 1 like that. We're going to put this through here. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. Wrap it around 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. And then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1. Wait a second, pull through 1 like that, and then pull it on up here like this. This is what we have. Yarn over, pull through, then pull this on out. So this coils up and it straightens itself out just like that. Work a chain 2, 1, 2, and then let's connect it with the first stitch here. I believe is that too wide? Let's look and see. That might be too wide. Okay, so now I'm going to join it here, right like this. Okay, so let me count. See how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, that's good. Now what we're going to do, I want to make a flower. And so what I'm going to do is chain 1. I'm not sure how big to make the petals. Let's just do a whole series of, maybe I should do a single crochet around first. Let's do 1 single crochet. Maybe what I'm going to do is slip stitch. This is what I'm going to do, is slip stitch between and just work 3 single crochet in each chain around. 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm going to do. 1, 2. Thank you, Monica. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Is that 2? I don't know. Maybe I don't need that much. Maybe I should just do 2. I'm going to take this out and just do 2. That's what I'm going to do, because I don't think I need. Okay, I've got 1. I'm just going to do 2 between each stitch. 1, 2. Okay, I missed a loop there. One of my threads, actually. See my thread right there? It's kind of, I need to pull that up like that. Sometimes that happens. Okay, 1, 2. We're going to do just 2 in each space around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See if that's pulling. No, I don't think it's pulling. No, it's not really pulling too tight. I like it just like that. 1, 2. So you came here to this live to say, so, oh, what happened the last time, Gojo? I don't recall what happened. Sorry about the last time. I'm not sure what you mean about the last time. Did you do something or something that I wasn't fond of, or I don't know what happened? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to work a slip stitch here to join. Now it is curling up a little bit here, but it's still going to work out actually. You see, when we do this, it's still going to work out. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to be working over, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, let me just start working over these and see how it works. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's just see. Okay, now I'm going to work a series of triple crochet. There's one, and let's see if this works out. I think it's going to, but I'm not positive. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I believe I'm working a chain 1 between each loop. Okay, let's see here. Now chain 1. Am I skipping a stitch? Yeah, we're going to skip a stitch because we're going to make this work. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, yeah, we're going to get this to work. Okay, chain 1. Now, in the next coil stitch, we're going to do the same thing with 7 triple crochet, chain 1 between. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now I'm gonna work a single crochet in this stitch, just like that. So this is what we've got for our flower right here, right now. I could, I think I'm just gonna keep doing it like this. Have some. Okay, so I'm gonna work 7 more triple crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now work a single crochet right here like that. Okay, hang on. Okay, now I've got a knot back here, and I'm gonna have to take this out. Just poke that through there like that, and then try to set this little guy. Let's just pull it up through here, trying to keep it out of the way a little bit so that doesn't happen again. I don't know if it will stay or not, but that's going to work for right now. Okay, so I'm going to work a chain 1, and then we are going to do the same thing in the next one. We're going to work 7 triple crochet. I think I should end up with maybe 9 or 10, probably 10 shell stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 1. Okay, now we're going to work a single crochet right here in this stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, and the next one we're going to work 7 triple crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet, and then same thing, 7 triple crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so I need to see what's going on here with my petals. Okay, all I want to do is just kind of set them down like, oh, I like that. I like that almost. Maybe I don't need to put any points on there. I was going to, and I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just finish the flower. Now what I should have done with these, I like the one, well, we're always going to see these lines in between like that, but some of these I blended in a little bit better because I instead of doing a single crochet on each side, some of them it looks like that's what I may have done. But I like this a lot. Okay, so let's do chain 1, and then in the next coil stitch we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, single crochet, chain 1, we'll work 7 triple crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Single crochet. Let's see how many we have left, because I only just have a couple left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that looks about right. We'll get two. I'll make it so we get 2 more in there. I will do that for sure. Let's see. It kind of looks similar on both sides almost. This side has a little bit more of the raised effect than the back side. Okay, so I am going to chain 1, and then I'm going to work 7 triple crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Okay, now we should be able to work. Okay, we're going to work you right here. And we just have one more left to do. Just one more. One more left to do. Chain 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, just like that. Chain 1, and then slip stitch down here at the base. We're slip stitching right there, just like that. Now let's take a look at it and see. I like that. I like it just how it is. You know, another thing too, if I would have made them full, a lot fuller, it's kind of a fun effect to have them overlapping like this too. But this one lays down nice and flat, so if you wanted to make a bunch of coasters like this, you probably could. These feel like they would get squished down. In fact, this side is nice and flat actually. If you wanted to make a coaster of some sort like this, you very well could. I just like it like that. If you wanted to sew it on a pair of pants or a t-shirt, oh, this would make nice for a t-shirt. Make really nice for a t-shirt. To just sew this on a t-shirt just like that with these little bullions right here, and go to town with some embroidery and sewing it onto your t-shirt. And now if you wanted to, now this is where my brain is going, is working some single crochet up here and some points, and maybe adding a little bit more, but I think I'm going to stop right here because I think this is pretty good as it is right here. Gosh, I almost hate to quit. We've got 20 people watching, and I didn't plan on anything else related to what I was going to do in the video. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to discuss or anything like that? How long have I been on here? For 24 minutes. I like the idea. I like that I'm getting people watching. I think this is great. Actually, really great. Then I can get monetized, I'm hoping. Oh, I did. Oh my goodness. I missed this last comment. Oh, it was wrapped up. I think it was you. So like, I think you were talking about sex, and I said something about me being a child and not wanting to hear about, oh, That's probably why it's rolled up, because I have my, I mean, I consider myself a child too, a child of my parents. And so I have no way of proving on my live stream. Oh, okay. I have no way of proving on my live stream who is a child and who is not a child. So the thing is that, um, well, and you said your parent put you on the phone, because I have no way of proving that you're a child or not. I'll tell you that right now. I have no way of proving. And you know, at one point when I was a kid and 10 years old, we used the word sex for gender. And so we used the word sex consistently all the time when I was in grade school. So, um, okay, well, that's your problem, not mine. I guess I need to. Is this where I probably need to boot you from my live stream, since you're saying you're only 10 years old and making a big announcement about it? Um, I mean, I hate the thought of doing it, but um, I mean, the only thing I can conclude is that your parent is being irresponsible right now. And so, I mean, I don't know what to do with that as far as that goes, because if I wanted to sit on this live stream and talk about things that are really adult topics, I can, because I don't know what country you're from. I have no insight to where you're at. And, so this is a problem as far as that goes. I think it's a big problem, because it's like, you're not my responsibility. Um, you're just not my responsibility, and I'm not interested in taking on that responsibility, because you have irresponsible parents. And so that's where these conversations, yeah, I know, that's where these conversations are going to go, is more people are going to be like me. And they already have, it's been on TikTok. And so I don't know what your motivation is for doing this, because the internet companies have already done everything that they can related to trying to put measures in place, enforcing parents to be responsible. So, I mean, there comes a point that parents just need to be responsible and stop giving kids their phones. And so, it's like, it's not my responsibility on what I want to talk about as far as that goes. And so you've told me that you're 10. I have to say, I really don't believe you that you are 10. And there's going to be more people like me who say that we just don't believe you, that we think you're lying. And so, I mean, personally, right now, I think you're an adult saying that you're 10 years old. That's kind of what I think. Um, so, uh, yeah, I mean, because it's just like, the thing is that this is the thing I think about out in public, is like, I don't go approaching people's kids. Typically, they don't go, yeah, different opinions about kids. I used to, I don't have a problem with kids. It's just that, I'm not interested in, I mean, kids cause a lot of problems on the internet for adults. That's what I see. And, I mean, and if I wanted to have an adult conversation with someone else on the internet about an adult topic, I should be able to. I'm an adult. And this is one of the things I don't like about the internet, is with the logged in version, because see, I have mine set. Well, I think that I can see mine. Let me see if I can see mine on the logged out version. I think I can. But see, I have it set for over 18, so kids can't get on it. Let's see, control V. Oopsie. That's not working. Let's paste. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so I can see my stream from the logged out version. And, so you you're out your email as 2007. I'm not sure what you mean about you're out of your email from 2007. I don't know what you mean by that. Um, I mean, that's a well, then you are lying about it because of the fact if you've had an email since 2007, then you're not 10 years old. Because 2007, and that would put you at 19 years old. As the year I was born, that's when you were born in 2007. So that makes you 19 years old, not 10. I mean, do you not know how to count? Okay, so you put on that you were born in 2018. Now it's changed to 2015. And so you're just consistently changing your dialogue here all the time. And so you can't be born in 2000. I know I've said that about, well, technically, when I think about it, I just turned two because my YouTube channel is 2 years old. But see, if you're going to do that crap, I mean, that to people, then they're not going to want to, what's going on here? Then they're not going to want to have any conversations with you if you're going to do stuff like that. I mean, because I mean, I think that there should be I mean, maybe Google needs to do a transparency of the age thing, because if that's the direction that you guys are going just for attention, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. Because then you're just causing. Okay, I don't know what that means. You're antisocial anyway. Um, I mean, for me, I hadn't always been antisocial. I didn't think I was always kind of a sociable person, but not some. I wasn't someone who needed to have like a whole bunch of acquaintances and people in my life ever. Um, that's not something I ever needed. I didn't feel a need to have, the I didn't feel a need to have a bunch of people in my life. But I'll tell you something. I'll share this with you. When I was a kid, though, and I turned 18, and then I wasn't going to high school anymore, that was kind of, it was a little bit traumatic. Not a lot, but it was a little bit, only because um, I wasn't going to be around the place where I grew up. That was the only reason. That I didn't get to see people that I went to school with before in the past. I didn't have anything to do. And so actually going to school in and of itself when you're in high school, and well, your school years are just become socialization. That's all they are. They're nothing more than that. So so I didn't have any socialization further after I graduated from high school, because I didn't go to college. And so I was just then later, I was put in an isolated place because after I got married to my first husband, I lived in the sticks. Now, I actually learned to really, really like living in the sticks. And right now, I actually wish I could live in a very isolated place like that again. Because I never wanted to live in a metropolitan area. I don't like it. I don't like all the people. And, it's like it just, I don't like all the kids around because kids are brats. And I just don't want to be around them. I mean, because they're not my responsibility and I just don't want to be around them. I'm not paid to entertain people's kids. And so it's like I really don't have anything positive that I can contribute as far as kids goes right now, because a lot of us who are adults, we like kind of venturing down some of the, having kids on the internet really takes the fun away out of it for adults. That's what I think. Um, especially for the people who are like, oh, I'm just going to put my kid on the internet anyway. It's like, well, uh, alrighty then. It's like, I don't have anything, I wouldn't talk to your kid in real life. I really wouldn't. Um, I'd say the same thing, even a child. It's the parent's responsibility. You spawned it, you take care of it. Well, that's the same thing with those who are like 19 years old and from other countries. You don't have to be here either, because I don't know why you are. I have nothing in common with a 19-year-old either. I really don't have anything in common. The only thing would be is if someone is wanting to learn how to do something, that would be the only time. Um, but I'm tired of, the thing that I've seen is some of those from the foreign countries just blowing smoke up my ass. I've kind of seen that quite a bit too, and they tend to lie a lot about how old they are, and doing things for their own purposes or whatever. And, so I can't say that I really don't like being around a lot of the foreigners either. I just don't, because I have nothing in common with them and they are only doing stuff for bad reasons, and I think I've talked about this a lot, because the thing is, it's like on the internet, what we get is some kid who's 19 years old, maybe even 18 or 17, and they're like, they throw out the D word, discrimination. If I say I'm not interested in them, and it's like, oh, well, you're discriminating because of the fact that I'm from this country. I might be from Iceland, or I might be, well, no, typically people from Europe don't say things like that. India will. India says stuff like that. Oh, you're discriminating because I'm from India. And it's like, no, I'm just not interested in a fraudulent relationship. And no, it's not dissemination. Oh, discriminate. Yeah, you're talking about dissemination of information. That's the difference between dissemination and discrimination. No, it's not discrimination. I agree with you. There's a lot of things that people have thrown out that they call discrimination, and it's not. It's like trying to have a conversation about something, and it's made so difficult that people just, right now, people in the United States don't even want to talk to other people in the United States. That's how bad things have gotten. So this means that the foreigners in the United States right now are going to have a very, very hard time, because no one in America wants to talk to any foreigners. We don't care where you're from. We don't want to talk to anybody. Um, and so, well, that's good. You can use your phone and you can talk into the phone, and you can let AI spell things out for you, because AI will spell things out for you when you talk into your phone from voice to text. And so that will help with your bad spelling. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, because for me, the thing is, it's like a lot of people are, you don't like talking at all. I like talking, actually. I do. I like talking at times. Not all the time, because sometimes, what's really nice sometimes is when you have someone to talk to at least I'm finding once a week. Now there's times I could do it more often, but once a week, because sometimes there's people you can talk to, and even just talking to them for a little bit. So either that is talking to the computer, talking in person, which talking in person is nice too. And sometimes I think there's other people who maybe they need someone to talk to too. And you talk to a random robot. I think that I probably do too. I have talked to random robots before on the internet and even in real life too. Did you know that there's real life robots that you talk to? You can talk to. So the thing is, it's like I just don't feel like there's I try to keep my channel as clean as possible, but the truth is it's like I'm still an adult and I guilty of maybe venturing down roads of the Tesla bot. The or is that the Tesla bot? You're doing the Tesla bot? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the te oh, so you mean there's a Tesla bot that's separate from the other one that is by uh Mr. Fusk? Uh, I'm not gonna call him by his real name because I don't want to promote him. But you guys know who I'm talking about when I say Mr. Fusk. I'm just gonna change his name to Mr. Fusk. Um, because I'm not getting anything out of this, so why should I promote his name? I'm not going to. And so you talk to a random, yeah, I talk to, uh, oh, you like it when I change his name to other things other than what it's supposed to be? Mr. Fusk? Would you like to, yeah, that could sound bad, but it's a made up word, Mr. Fusk. Um, I would like to wait, how can I word this? Um, if I wanted to be really bad, I mean, I'd like to go to a motel and fusk with my attorney. Oh, I just said it and that sounds so horrible. But I can't because he won't talk to me anymore. I really think he should be arrested, though. I really do. He should be arrested. Um, but I think he's sending things in the direction that he thinks there's some others up in Atlanta, and I think it would be funny if he was. I mean, because he's done some things I think is wrong. Yeah, to fuss. Because you know what, right now, fusk does not mean anything unless it's an actual word that I don't know what it means, and it very well could be. Um, it could be a word. I don't know. I mean, uh, and I'm trying hard not to be grumpy, but the thing is, it's like when I'm no more any different. Now, oh my gosh, I'm not as bad as some people when it comes to kids being on their stream. Some of them go all out, what do we want to call it? Liberal. I think they go all out liberal, gaslighting and raging when there's a kid on their stream. They go completely crazy. And it's like, I don't feel that that's necessary to go that far. So I'm not that bad as far as that goes. I mean, we're going to have to live with kids. Everybody does. It's just that kids can be very intolerant of adults at times, and they don't know what rules are. And so kids can go on the internet and pretty much say anything that they want to. Well, this is the thing I've thought about, that children can come on the internet and say things. Think about this, because YouTube has its terms of service set up. And so if a child says something that is not right with the terms of service, then does that mean that the parent is going to be getting a knock at the door from the police officer because the kid put something on the internet that because the parent gave them the phone? So does that mean that the police are going to go knocking on the door if a kid says something that that goes against the grain of the terms of service of YouTube, then oh my gosh, then there's going to be that knock at the door, and we're going to say, well, did you mean to, this is the police. We've been sent here to investigate because we have someone that is putting out uh, violent threats from your from this area. And but now the problem with this area is the fact that unless you know exactly what the address is, it's my understanding that um, how can you have a halfway policy because of the fact that, well, one person where they live. So say someone tells where their address is, you know where they live. So someone else doesn't put their address out there, they don't know where they live at. So presumably from Google, what they've said is that they don't put their address out there. Well, so how in the world is it then? How would it be fair? You have a half policy that some people get visits by the police and others don't, related to equality with the First Amendment, so if someone's just saying something, it's like, well, what are we doing here with the First Amendment? Because there's some really weird stuff going on. It is. I agree with you. Well, at least you're able to rationalize that, because I think that you're a lot older than what you say you are. At least you're able to rationalize that, and so, um, yeah, I don't like the I don't know. It makes it for I think for adults it just makes the whole thing really really uncomfortable, because it's like a lot of people. You have uh good logic. Um yeah, I feel like I have good logic my own self. I've made a lot of good logic related to things, because it's like there's a double standard. That's what I've seen, is the double standard, because some people get away with, like Legacy Media has always gotten away with putting all this stuff up, presenting themselves like they don't do anything wrong, but then they come on the internet, and then they can be on the internet baiting other people into anger. And I think that's what's been going on. I really do. I think that's kind of what's been going on with some of the things that um, I do think that there's a lot of baiting, and I think that what they've tried to do is tried to establish something in the sense of getting people off the internet so they can go back to television and make and the acting industry. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. But the thing is like we already know that they earn entirely too much money. They're not worth. Online dating is shitty. There will be a ton of pedophiles. Um, well, we've already been down that road, though. We've already been down that road. Um, I mean, okay, this is what they've done with online dating for the most part. Online dating. If we could go back 25 years, online dating should have always had a pay gate on it, an age and pay back in 1995 or early 1990s. It always should have had an age restriction and pay on it. Right now, doesn't most online dating have a thing where you have to pay? And nobody wants to talk to a robot either. I mean, what is talking to? I mean, then you're never going to meet anyone in real life. And it's like, I don't want to sit here and talk to a robot related to dating. Now, one of the problems that I've come across, you're right though, about the I don't know about the laws though. That's the whole thing. My thing is, I mean, you could sit here and talk about something for educational purposes. Okay, I'll give you an example. So when I lived in Europe and I was with the military base, and the school took me and my kids to the zoo, and we watched the monkeys do their business. And So it just so happened that the monkeys decided to do their business in front of the kids while they were while we were at the zoo. And it was kind of something that was funny. And the teachers decided, oh my gosh, it's time for us to go. So the kids who were in grade school, they were like in, I think it was from first grade to first or maybe second to fifth grade or something like that. They all got a really big sex education lesson from the monkeys at the zoo that day. And we just thought it was funny. Oh, absolutely. They were. The kids were laughing. And that's why I was asking, because I was at the tail end, so I missed it. And I was like, I was actually literally disappointed that I missed it. But I've since then seen plenty of the monkeys doing that stuff on YouTube. So I know they do it on purpose, it seems like. So when you go to the zoo, the monkeys sometimes will do that stuff on purpose because someone trained them to. And so, you know, you can find plenty of that on YouTube if you really want to watch it. Um, you know, most of the time I don't want to, but sometimes I might need a little bit of humor relief, and I might watch some of that stuff just for some inspiration on something else I can make that's G-rated. Because there's always something. I mean, just when I think that I'm out of ideas, I come up with something else and I surprise myself every time. It's like I have, I don't know how many videos I have private right now. I think I probably have, I would guesstimate maybe 400 videos that I have private, maybe. And I end up making more videos in a day sometimes when I'm feeling really, really inspired. But I think I have videos scheduled about 2 weeks from right now. And then I can go in and make more, I can schedule more videos at any time. So I'll talk about some things and then it's like, well, I really don't want to just make it all public all at once. And sometimes it gets to be, I think it exceeds. So I find if I do maybe about, I think it's 5 or 6 videos, usually they get watched. They'll get out into the short feed. If I do more than that, sometimes then they just sit there. But if they just sit there and I just stop making videos, eventually they do get picked up. So, um, you know, sometimes I just have a lot on my mind related to stuff, and then sometimes it's like, well, I've already talked about this. Right now, I'm just kicking a dead horse when it comes to a lot of things. But I found something else that's kind of entertaining to do right now. It's like I really like poking fun at the lawyers. And so I have a lot of fun poking fun at lawyers. And I found something else to do, and I'm not going to say what that is. Now, I have done some stuff on video, and if you watch those videos, you know what that is. But there's something else I've been doing that's kind of fun. And I let's just say I tell some stories, you know, because it's kind of like, well, we have learned that a lot of these personal injury lawyer commercials that they're telling big fat lies about how much money they make. You know, so when they say that they made like $280,000 off of some personal injury, they're telling a great big lie. Now the thing is, it's like, well, if they're going to tell lies, then we have a right to tell lies back to them. And so, um, yeah, yes, they're a bunch of liars. Now, if you wanted to, you could make your own video of a personal injury lawyer and just make a great big lie about the lawyer because you know, a lot they're fake. I mean, that's what we're hearing. They're fakes, frauds, and scams. And, you know, some of them talk about some things that have happened to them that I don't know if they really happened or not. You know, they said they've been on TV shows, they've been featured on TV shows, and there was one at one time they said, well, that they had become the world lawyers. I think it was Farrah and Farrah. They had a commercial at one point. They said they were the world lawyers, or was that Morgan and Morgan? One of them. I don't know. But they just go all out crazy with their big lies. And so I don't know if they're the problem and they make lawyers look bad, or if lawyers make themselves look bad. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of the same premise as criminals make themselves look bad, you know. Um, and they do. So, but I like to help the lawyers. I like to help them look bad at times. And I like to help them with some stories too. You know, when there's, how do I word this? When there's some medical things that could be potential dangers, I like to embellish the stories to make them sound more real than what they would literally be funny. Even though it's funny, but it's like, oh my gosh, this sounds so dangerous. And it is. I mean, I see a problem with some of the medical devices, and I will literally volunteer my time writing up some stories for lawyers in places that can be potential hazards related to things. And um, I try to write them in such a way that it's not going to violate anybody's bad language word thing. You know, they're bad languages. And so sometimes I think that using some moderated words that are different and they're popular and different is actually more funny than actually using the proper terminology for the word. Sometimes that's kind of funny. And so, um, and AI actually helps make things funnier too, you know. So, um, so they need some help with their commercials, making them more entertaining than what they've been making them. Right now, they're just boring. But I've been trying to help the lawyers make things less boring. I think Donald Trump did that too. I think Donald helped a lot. Uh, in your grade, sexes, boom baya. I don't know what that is, boom baya. Um, well, according to you, you're 19 years old, so you should be graduated by now. And um, so Donald Trump has helped lawyer commercials too. That's how he got elected. So you said you were born in 2017. If you're born in 2019, then you're only 8 years old because this is 2026. So that would make you only 8 years old. So you've changed your age again. So, but Donald Trump, he tried to help the lawyers quite a bit because he literally ran off of, um, they're out to get him, and he won twice. He literally won off of making law apparently more interesting. You were born in June of 2015. So that would make you 11. So you're there you are changing it again. So I don't trust you at all. I really don't. I don't trust what you're saying at all. And so why would I? Why would I trust you? I don't. I don't trust you at all. You're changing your age again. And so I have no insight to actually see. I mean, the only thing that YouTube could do is create, this is what I would suggest to YouTube, and that is if they have a kid on, I don't know how they would do that though. Yeah, but who wants to believe? Yeah, what is believe what you believe then? And nobody wants the police coming and knocking at their door because of something they wrote on the internet that's done in humor, and someone else doesn't get it. And then you have bratty kids, and so this is where my brain goes down and shuts down. Then it's like, well, for me, I then just want to shut the comments off altogether. I like the engagement, and a lot of other people like the engagement too. But then it's like, well, okay, let me tell you this. So, for example, in real life, if you were at a nursing home, the nursing home is not going to have like 5,000 10-year-olds at the nursing home, like the internet has the potential to have 5,000 10-year-olds. And it's not going to have like 5,000 children from a foreign country at the nursing home either. That's just not going to happen. But yet, so then it becomes no. Well, let me tell you this. You know what else happens too? Then is the potential, because this has been used as well. So when I mentioned nursing home, kids think they have all these rights, but let me throw out the old people card. We're going to throw out the old people card because, I mean, we can say the same thing for old people, harassment and bullying of old people. Kids can get to the point of harassing and bullying. And so there's another argument there. And the ones from foreign countries, same thing. Harassment and bullying of senior citizens from kids from foreign countries. I mean, so the argument related to where this goes with the internet, yeah, it is. That in real life, it's even worse. The internet, at least we can shut the internet off, but a lot of people have jobs that they created on the internet. Now, this is the alternative side. I've thought, like with real life, if you go to a business and you do what some of these people do on the internet, it's like they would be arrested and put in jail. So if you do what you do in real life, then, I've seen some of the videos of people being shitty, and it's internet people too, and that's what's really discouraging, with some of their, I don't mind a playful side of doing First Amendment audits, but some of them get over the top related to the bankers. And when the bankers, they don't do they're not there at night. You never see anybody go do a First Amendment audit at night at a bank when nobody's there. Why is it only during the day? Otherwise, it just becomes an advertisement for a bank, is what it seems like. I don't know. I mean, nobody's doing a First Amendment audit at night at the bank when nobody's there. So that means that a woman is not going to come out. So for me, it seems like it's more staged than anything. We'll see bullying back. Yeah, bullying back just means that I would have to call the police on someone if they're going to bully back. Because it's like that's not something I'm interested in. And I've had a state attorney general who has said to call the police on foreign bullies. Okay, well, what's the purpose of bullying? Because then you're just doing antagonistic gaslighting for views, and no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested at all. I know some of you are on TikTok. I'm not interested in watching any of it. If that's the only way you can get views, when all is said and done, most people don't want to watch that. That kind of stuff was never popular on TV. Nobody wants to watch I know I liked some of those Real Housewife shows at one time, but when they started with the drag queens and stuff like that and the yelling and screaming, I stopped watching. I stopped watching the reality shows because they all got too much like the real drag queens of Orange County and Atlanta and stuff like that. So I just stopped watching because I didn't like the yelling and screaming. I thought it was stupid. It was entertaining at first. I think when Flavor Flav did it, it was kind of funny, some of how he did it. But he was kind of a little clown his own self. I think they did things in humor and fun, and maybe a lot of it was staged, because the reality TV shows, well, let's think back to the Real World on MTV. That stuff worked for a while, but I used to think it was real, but not thinking of it as staged or actors. You know, so they put up disclaimers. Same thing with what was that show? I don't even know if it's on anymore. Head of Household. What was that show? Oh, Big Brother. I forgot about that show. I haven't watched it anyway. Like same with Big Brother. I used to, they always said that they had the people on the shows sign a disclaimer if they had done anything, and that they had to have all these tests if they were going to be intimate together and things like that. And so I think that that was more or less to try to convince the American public, which it did work for a while, that it was real. And right now, the whole thing is fake. A lot of them on YouTube. These what they call them, trad moms on YouTube. It's all fake. They're fake actors out of the Mormon community. They're fake. And so well, the best thing, if that's all you have to talk about is getting bullied, then then maybe you just shouldn't talk to people at all. If that's all you have to talk about, if you can't talk about something else, or maybe the people are just not meant to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. I mean, have you thought about that? Because that does happen a lot. I find that my own self. A lot of times people just don't want to talk to me. I think sometimes it's more or less because they maybe don't know what to say, or they don't know, they're a lot of people have, I look at some of the people where I'm at, kind of like I look at my kids right now. I've listened to my kids say, well, why did you have to talk about this? Or why did you have to talk about politics in this sense? And so it's like, oh, well, I didn't realize that was a problem. It's like, okay, well then they don't want to talk to me. You were talking to your grandma and she was asking, yeah, well, I guess I need to end this video because this has become a shitty conversation, because I really don't want to talk to a kid. Well, if that's why you weren't talking, then why are you here aside from wanting to just be a shit? I mean, I think it sounds like you're some idiot from India. And okay, let me do this. I'm just gonna block you. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's just block. Where's the block button? Let's just hide user from my channel. Let's just do that. Okay, all the messages are hidden now. I mean, it just, this kind of conversation serves no purpose, really. That's what I see. It serves no purpose, especially, when a lot of them are paid. People call them robots, but they're real people. They're real people who are paid from foreign countries to do this stuff, to harass people, is what's going on. So a lot of people call them robots, but they're real people from foreign countries. And that's why they get so upset when you delete them, when you block them. That's the best thing you can do, is block them. I mean, in their networks, as far as that goes, they probably have. Doc Compton explains it the same way with the phone scams too. So think about it like this, that maybe like with one YouTube channel, you can, I don't know how many channels you can create with one channel, but see, they can create a whole bunch of different channels, and then they can switch from this channel to this channel to this channel. It's like, well, what is the purpose of someone paying them to come on our channels? And someone is, and then they're making up lies for them to tell to us. So why would they residually do that? Residually, just consistently come to other people who are not paying them to come on our channels. Well, that's to try to make YouTube look bad, to try to make the internet look bad, when in all reality, we can just get views and people who might want to watch our content naturally, but yet someone else is paid. And so these people just keep coming back because what's happened now is that they have the farmed networks, and so they might have tens of thousands of people on one account, and then they just keep switching channels. So the only thing you can do then when they do stuff like this is just to delete them and, hide them from your channel so you don't have to talk to them, because otherwise you just end up going down a dead-end road with some 19-year-old you typically wouldn't even want to talk to in real life, because all they want to do is argue with you. That's the thing I've seen, like the ones from India. All they want to do is argue with you. They want to argue at you. They want to curse at you. That's all they want to do. And so it's likely they're thousands of miles away from where you live, unless they're inside the United States, but they have no, and they're the ones who are going to take you down that path of inappropriate talk, so they're the ones who are pushing the buttons of, well, let's talk about something that's really inappropriate in the United States, because they know that it's inappropriate. They're going to say that they're only 8 years old. And so, but see, the thing is right now what's happening is that nobody wants to pay, because what they're doing is not a real job. It never has been, it never will be. And so even the networks are not utilizing them as much. That's what I'm thinking is happening, that people are not utilizing the paid slaves from foreign countries. You can call them that, paid sex workers. That's what Doc Compton would probably call them, is paid sex workers that are participating in human trafficking from foreign countries. And they're the ones that are the scammers. So this guy, this Gojo or whatever he's going by, is a scammer. That's pretty much what he is. When he goes down that direction and becomes really chatty like that, that's all he is. Because there's no purpose in the conversation. And I don't believe that actually YouTube itself, I've chatted with YouTube's chat bots, and they're real robots, and what they tell me is that it responds right back and it says, we don't do that stuff. So Google does not have its robots programmed to go into the chat and talk to us. It just doesn't do that stuff. So these people that are coming on our chat in YouTube are real people that are paid, or they're just trying to find someone that they think that will pay them to do something, like subscribe to a video or something like that. And it's like, they need to learn that what they have been doing is a scam. It's not a real job. And the networks did a big disservice to the American public and the internet when they started hiring people from foreign countries to artificially inflate their content on the internet. That's what they did. And so that's what people are kind of upset about is, with the robots, is that, well, we call them robots, but I mean, I knew what was going on, because they had that early, and YouTube didn't have any guidelines even set up at one point related to what was going on, because these people, they had the farmed communities of people. And then I started thinking about that. I did utilize it on my original channel. I'm going to say for maybe, I don't know how many followers I got out of it, maybe 600 or so. And then I thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it this way, because I think I can do it better another way. And so I did pay a little bit and then I stopped because I thought this just doesn't feel right. And I think that I can do it better a different way. And I did. I did. And so, I had plenty of followers that, and, but then people in the community, in my community, got shitty. And so it got to the point, well, I don't need that headache. And so I deleted my original channel. I just deleted everything because I thought, well, if it's not there, nobody can, no, nobody can tie that channel to me anymore. Now, can they? They just can't. I mean, that would be the same thing as, so if you were a crook and the police officers were doing an investigation of something, and oh well, I think I take it further. Legacy media, you know what? I mean, you know what's so funny though? Legacy media, they delete a lot of stuff. So they leave it up for a period of time and then they delete it. But there's just certain things that they don't delete, and it's almost like, well, why do they want to bring certain things back up again? And it's only to make someone else look bad. That's the only reason, is to make someone else look bad for some reason or another. Why do they want to do that? Why do you think they want to do that? For their own self-serving money purposes, to make someone look bad for some reason, for something that's not a crime even. It's an accusation, but it's not even a crime. But why did they want to do that? So it's like, okay, well, if you're going to play that game, then all you've got then is people either abandoning the internet, and it's like, you know what? You've ruined it for yourself. Nobody wants to watch your stuff either. That's how it works, I mean, you've got the millennial generation and another generation even after that. People are kind of turned off with the internet right now, and especially turned off with foreign people, the foreign sex slaves that they've been bringing to the United States. And so I mean, that's hideous that they do that. I can't believe somebody did that, but they did. The legacy media wants to say, oh, it's the government's doing it, the government's doing it. And then the government just doesn't really have any response at all. I think legacy media has more to do with it. I think Donald Trump has a lot to do with it, actually. I really do. I think Donald Trump has a whole lot to do with it. And he's been blaming the government. His people have been blaming the government. And I think it's Wall Street. Wall Street has a lot to do with it. So, 6, 7. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, the 6, 7. I know what that means. 4, 7. Yeah, I know what that means too, Jack. I hear you, Jack, here. I know it has something to do with Jack. I know it has something to do with Jack. And he's just being an asshole. I'm pretty positive Jack has a lot to do with this. And I think Jack is up for potential getting arrested, his own self. What I've said, allegedly, let's just say allegedly. And, I've said allegedly that maybe Fannie Willis and Nate Wade might get arrested, but I'm not positive. But I said there's that potential. It's going to drag the media back in again, with some interest or something in Trump's boring presidency, because right now he has nothing. Right now, nobody wants to watch TV at all. It's boring. And the conservatives, nobody wants to watch any of them. I know he's putting his phone number up, I think. He's putting up part of his phone number. Let me go here and see. Or someone's putting his phone number up, parts of it. That's what it looks like. Let me see. I think, or it could be, yeah, well, they're not the phone number, the address is what they put up, part of the address. Um, he probably wouldn't even be, probably don't even have that phone number anymore. He's probably changed everything and he's not even at that address anymore. And I think he is afraid of being arrested. I really do. Yeah, I know. What they do that. They change the numbers just like that to, let me take a look here and see something. No, we're not going to use precise location. Oh, they got a new guy up there too. Yeah, they're already doing some. Oh, the crooked lawyers. The crooked lawyers. You can't keep a courthouse in your law office. And I suspect that's where a lot of this is coming up next is, I know there's a lady in San Francisco who was talking about that, and she said during COVID, um, well, she said that when the lawyers start charging that much extra money, she said what happens is then the judges start charging them extra money, more money to file everything. And the judge, so she said that then the lawyers they can't make a profit from it, so then they start storing things in their offices. And she said then that becomes corrupt because they store things in their offices. And she says they're not an actual courthouse. And so then when people go to look for something, that some legal work they had done, then they're not going to find it in the courthouse because the lawyer never filed the paperwork. And so that's what she was talking about, this woman in San Francisco, about the corrupt lawyers who are doing, they're doing real legal work, taking money from people at very high inflated prices, and then they're not actually helping the clients. They're actually, they're almost like they're embezzling is what they're doing. That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been learning about the crooked side of law. I just didn't know that, but they are. And so who would have known that someone that you liked would be doing this stuff to people in your own area? But he is. He really is. And he should be arrested. I mean, I'm not afraid of having white guys arrested. They should be. They're crooked. I especially have thought the president should have been arrested back before he became president. I kind of thought that he should have been arrested before he even became president. I didn't like the old fart then, and I like him even less now. He doesn't do much to help the cause for rich people at all. Because he's, well, it's kind of, really, I'm kind of thinking it's really kind of knocked rich people down off their pedestal quite a bit. I think that was the intention, though. And it should, to show them in a light of, not being all that they're cracked up to be. And I think that was the intention. And it's kind of probably is a good thing that happened. That just because someone is a certain label doesn't mean they're immune from being an idiot. And, even the politicians have done a good job knocking their own self down off their pedestals and their high horses. I mean, they call themselves idiots all the time. Um, they do. I mean, it's so funny. It is. It's really funny. But there's stuff though. Sometimes I kind of think that they talk to empty cameras too, or yeah, not just empty. Oh, I don't want to say empty cameras. I mean, they talk to cameras without an audience. And I know they said Newt Gingrich was one of them that first did that. They said he was getting like thousands and thousands of people watching. And then they started panning out and then showing that nobody was even inside of the chambers when he was speaking. And so then they decided that they were going to do the full panned out version so they could see that nobody was um, inside of the halls of Congress when they're speaking and doing their stuff. But nobody really cares. It's like if you're interested and you want to listen, you'll listen, right? That's how I am. It's like I don't care how big someone's audience is. If it's something that interests me, I might be one of a dozen people or one of one people watching. That's just how it is. And so, yeah. Uh, but at least I'm not listening to the idiots who told me, well, where was I at? I don't know if it was a robot or someone in a chat I was in a few weeks ago. They're like, well, stop writing. There were something about stop writing this stuff or I'm going to arrest you and your lawyer. And it's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Why would you arrest me and my lawyer? Because I think, oh, I know why. Because I told them that they needed to be arrested. And so I was just kind of having fun, using kind of word semantics. And that's all I do is just, I create my own fun by myself, and because the thing is, I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to entertain myself. So I entertain myself and I do things and write things that makes myself laugh. And it's like, and the thing is, it's like I'm not famous. I don't intend on being famous, and I never planned on being famous ever. And so it's like I'm not really doing things. I'm just doing things just to kind of keep myself entertained. That's all. And so Google has these things set up so we can do stuff, and so uh, and it's okay. The example is like when someone comes and writes something in your chat, it's not something that you're going to call the police on because it doesn't break any laws. Um, because I just can't prove anything. And that's kind of the same principle as a lot of things on the internet. It's the first, well, like oh my gosh, what they did with Hunter Biden. Look at what they did with him. And then he ended up in the end, it's like to him, it really doesn't matter now, does it? He's not suing anybody any further. He's not running for president. I'm sure he has plenty of money to get by the rest of his life. They just made him look really bad. Um, for some reason. And it's like, I'm thinking, like, well, why don't you do the same thing to, Don Jr.? Why don't you put him in a Speedo and make him look really bad? Why don't you guys do that? Do the same thing to Don Jr. I know they've been poking fun at his Kimberly Guilfoyle or whatever her name was. She looks a lot like Erica Kirk, though, I was thinking. And I think the Erica Kirk thing is kind of dying down. People are getting really bored with it, because there's really nothing there. It's very boring. It's a political action committee, and they're probably doing some things. I think it has ties to the president, and so it's boring. It's not something that I talked about a whole lot, but I will make I feel bad for any person who has lost a loved one. That's as far as it goes. But then at the same time, there was some things that Charlie Kirk was saying. I made a video about that the other day, and I don't know if I made it public or not. I think I did. There was something that he was saying that kind of struck me, because people just look at me and they just assume, they look at the videos I make and they just assume that I should be someone who identifies with Charlie Kirk for some reason. And I don't know why. Um, you know, because I'm not rich. I don't have loads of money. I'm not getting money from Turning Point. I'm not like a conservative. I don't identify with any of the political parties. I think they suck. And so, you know, it's like I just kind of avoid it. You know, I feel like really, if people wanted to argue discrimination, you should be arguing the numbers. So look at how many people register as Democrat, look at how many people register as Republican, and then look at how many independent people don't register as either one of them. And then you can look at discrimination in voting. So you have all these other people who are outsiders who might still go vote, but you have all these other people who are registered as a party, and then you're going to find the discrimination, because why should we have to align with one side or the other? The parties are the problem. Really need to get rid of the parties. They're a monopoly, and they are not serving the best interest of the American public. Uh, you know who they serve the best interest for is money laundering for politicians. That's all it serves, is money laundering. And then I don't know, this weird story that I saw related to Erica Kirk was they said she wanted to get with the vice president. So she really wants him to get divorced really, really bad so she can get married to him. And then she wants to fund his presidency because she's getting like millions and millions of dollars. That's what they've been saying. And it's like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. That your husband passes away. Now they're coming up with all these weird stories that there's some other things behind it or something that maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. But it's really bizarre what they got going on with that thing. I don't know why. It's just completely ridiculous. People should be taken advantage of in such a way. It should be easier to be able to report people for taking advantage of people, especially when you do it to senior citizens. And you did it when she was a senior citizen too. You know, so I mean, that's just something to keep in mind there, counselor. He has nothing to say. There must have been one more. Let's see what's. Anyone else have anything they would like to chit chat about? Scammer, oh, what is this? Scammer calls the police officer. CEO makes a shocking discovery about his company. 11 things you should never do after uploading a YouTube video. Millions are starting to lose interest in everything. I think that's been happening for quite some time. 6 days ago. Well, he has 640,000 views on that video, so it looks to me like he's utilizing um, something that the rest of us don't have. And yeah, if he's losing views, that's because people are becoming less interested in him. Goldie's Farm Arena. Oh, maybe I'll watch that. That looks like it could be interesting. Goldie's Farm. Let's see here if it's still on. Oh, it is. There's a bunch of goats and there's some goats and some donkeys. Oh, it looks like donkeys. Yeah, big donkeys and goats. That looks like a lot of fun, actually. Little, there's a little maybe it's a baby donkey, and they're eating out of a bucket. And then there's some goats off yonder, and they're eating out of a bucket. Goldie's Arena Cam is what it's called, and they're just inside of a barn. And the goats, oh, that one, oh, he's kicking the other goat. No, that's mean. You stop kicking that goat. Oh my gosh, he did it twice. He kicked the other goat for going up behind it. So the other goat, it's not a goat, the donkey. The other donkey's a little bit larger than the gray donkey. The gray donkey has a stripe down its back. And it was kicking at the larger donkey because it came up behind it. So there's a little baby donkey that's around there. And the larger donkey came up, and then the gray donkey that's medium sized between the small donkey and the very large donkey then is kicking. And it's kicking like, you know how donkeys kick, they're kind of mean. They bite too. So they're sitting there kicking that other larger donkey. Well, you little stink. Now they're eating though. But see, what happened was the larger donkey came along and kind of pushed the smaller gray donkey off around, and that donkey didn't like it and was kicking at the other donkey that was larger. But now they look happy, though. They're all eating out of the bucket together. And I can't see the baby donkey anymore. Let's see what they're going to do now. They should be done soon, I would think. What happened to the baby? Yeah, the baby donkey it went someplace else. So now it's just the gray donkey there by itself eating out of the bucket. And so the little tiny donkey and then the larger donkey are both gone. And the donkey that was doing all the kicking is there at the bucket by itself now, eating. Is that that looks like donkey poop right there. It is. You guys have pooped all over the place. That's gross. But where'd the other tiny donkey go? There was 3 of them, and now there's only 2. I don't know, maybe they pulled the other little tiny donkey out of there if they were going to be mean. Well, okay, so what we worked on was the coil stitch with the bullions. So I started off with like a chain, I think it was a chain of 5. Then I made let's see, 10 single crochet, and I did 20 double crochet, and then I did the coil stitch, and then I did 2 single crochet in each space around, and then I did a single crochet, chain 1, and then 7 triple crochet, and then a chain 1 between each stitch, and then a chain 1 single crochet in the next. So I have a total of 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 for the recap here. And maybe I should make one more coil stitch just as a coil stitch here at the end. Oh, there's the baby donkey. There's baby donkey, just to show how to do it. So let me slip stitch up here. We'll do one more. We'll do one more here up at the top, just to kind of show how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. Well, let me do one more. We'll get up a little bit higher. Okay, so we're going to stick you through here and then pull this tight. So I have to have a device actually. So what I'm going to do is wrap this around 8 times. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, just like that. So what I'm going to do now is, I should have, but I didn't. I should have went down a little bit further like that. Okay, let's see if I can't get this in here like that. Yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to pull through all these like this. And then I'm going to chain to secure and then pull this out. Uh-oh, are we stuck? Nope. Okay, so, and then that completes the bullion stitch right there like that. Okay, let's take that out. Alrighty, I think that I'm probably done right now. I don't have anything further to contribute. I always end up with nonsense at the end, and it's kind of disappointing. You know, but it's always talking about that age thing, you know, people who want to push that age thing for whatever reason, and it, which it's all of a sudden it's become a problem now. Never was a problem before, but for some reason all of a sudden now it's a problem, and it's like, well, nobody seemed to care about it before. You know, you just let it happen. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you care about it. Why? But yet at the same time you didn't care that you took jobs away from adults while you're giving jobs to children in foreign countries and contributing to human trafficking and yada yada yada. It falls on deaf ears. You know, take jobs away from American citizens, but then give them to idiots in other places who don't need the jobs, and you know, make problems worse than what they should be. And so they're going to have to figure it out by themselves, because you know, the rest of us really aren't interested and they're stupid. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you the next time.